I know this seems like a long video, but honestly it isn't. I just wasted a lot of time talking, but I'm not going to waste my time here. You can read the timestamps on the screen right now or on the YouTube player, and you can skip to the parts that you would like to go to. First 26 minutes is the sword making, the rest is random gibberish. Thanks for watching, thanks for 50 subscribers, and enjoy. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Roblox Studio tutorial video, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a sword combat system. So, let's get started. So, first thing you're gonna need is a sword model. For this tutorial video, I'm gonna keep it plain and simple, and I'm just gonna use a cylinder. Once we have our tool, we're gonna get started with the scripting. Now, excuse me if this is kind of confusing, but I'm going to be using a script that I wrote earlier, and I'm going to reference over it since it is quite difficult. So first thing we're going to need is we're going to need a local script, and this local script is going to handle client-side events such as the clicking. So first we're going to need the player service, so we're going to do local players equals game get service and players, and now we're going to make some references. So we're going to make tool is script.parent, which is this tool right here. Local handle equals to tool, and we're going to wait for child, and we're going to wait for handle. We do wait for child so that when it first starts up the game, it's going to look for tool.handle, and sometimes it might return as none. So that's why we do wait for child, to make sure that we get something. Then when you do local player equals players dot local player, local character equals player dot character, or player dot character added rate. Now we do this here because sometimes player dot character will return null or nil in Lua. So that's why we add a character added weights to make sure that we do get a character. Because if we don't, script will break. Last thing we need is the local humanoid, which is local character dot wait for child, and we're just gonna say humanoid. Next, we're going to need to add an event, a local an event, a remote event here. You can name it whatever. I'm just going to keep it simple and name it sword handler. And we're going to reference it in this script here. Local sword handler, the script dot parent, wait for child, sword handler. Now, I will explain this really quickly. What a remote event does is it allows us, the user, to talk with the server, because we're not going to be handling damage inside our local script because of an update in past Roblox updates called filtering enabled, which means that you can't handle attribute changes to or modify other players from your computer. You have to do it through the server. That's why we have the remote event here. Sorry if that confuses you. Once we do that, we're just gonna do local ATK1, and we're just gonna set this to null. We're gonna do this 2 more times. These will be our animations, but for now we're going to leave it. Next, we're going to need some variables. These variables are going to be local click to detect how many times we've clicked our mouse, because we got 3 animations here and we're going to play them differently. Local last click. For now, we just put it here. I will explain what last click does sooner or later. Local time between. So this is the amount of time you want between clicks. So because we don't want them to spam, and yeah, so we're gonna put half a second and local debounce. This makes sure that we are not currently attacking. So once we've done that, it's time to start scripting. We're going to do tool.activated, and we're going to do connect function, and we're going to say is typing. Now what the activated event is that when a tool is equipped and left mouse button, so your mouse button clicks down, this event will fire. It will tell us that it's been clicked. So we're gonna say if is typing, then return end. So if we are typing, we want to make sure that we're not attacking while we're typing. If humanoid dot health equals 0, then return end. We want to make sure that we are not dead when we click this, because that would be rather interesting to have a dead player swing a sword at you. Then we're going to do last, if not, debounce. Now, this means if we are not currently attacking, then we're going to set debounce to true, meaning we are currently attacking right now and we don't want this to fire again. We're going to do click plus equals 1. And what this does, it's going to get click plus equals 1 is it's going to add 1 to our current click. So when we click once, it's going to be 1, then it's going to go 2, 3, and so on. Then we're going to say if click is greater than or equal to 3, so if click is 3 or higher, then we're going to, first of all, set click equals 0, because we don't want to click anymore. Then we're going to do sword handler fire server. Now this is going to handle our combat itself. This is going to handle the damage. And here we're going to actually pass a parameter true. Now, for now, ignore this true. It will make sense later, but for now, we'll just put it in. Then we're going to do ATK3, which is our third click, and we're going to play it, and we're going to wait 1.5 seconds, since it is our like final slash of some sorts. It's our big move, and that should be it. I'm actually going to move the click under there. Now we're going to add some else ifs. So we're right here. You're going to go to the end. We're going to space it here. We're going to put else if click equals 1. Then we're just going to copy this, paste it, and say 2. So if our click is 1, we're going to sword handler fire server. This time we're going to pass false, and we're going to do ATK1 play. We're going to copy this again, and we're just going to say it for 2. And that's pretty much it for this part. One last thing is we got to go to the bottom of the script, because right now debounce is true. We're gonna wait time in between, so we want to have 0.5 seconds between clicks. We're gonna say debounce is false, so now we're saying we're not attacking anymore, he can go. Now we're gonna add this part here. We're gonna wait 5 seconds. You can set that to 3 or 2. I'm gonna set actually to 3 now, and we're gonna put last click equals click. Now what we're doing is we're gonna set our click count to, last click to our click count. And you might be wondering why. Well, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go to the bottom here, the bottom of our tool activated. So you've done that, click. We're gonna do a while true loop here. And we're gonna wait 5 seconds. So every 5 seconds, it's going to check if our last click is still equal to click. Then we're gonna reset, because we don't want our player, let's say they click twice, so they do attack 1 and then attack 2, and then they start walking away. We don't want them in probably like 10 seconds or so. When they click again, they start on attack 3 instead of starting from the beginning with their combos. So that's what this part is doing. And that right there is our entire local script done. You can tidy up by adding some notes. Let's say this, make it easier for you. Uh, Events, reference, references, and services. And that's our local script done. Next, we're going to go to our tool and we're going to add this time a server script, a regular script, and this is going to be executed in the server. So here we're actually just going to put local damage, and this is how much damage we want our sword to do. So in my script over here, I put 10 damage. Seems fair, but from my memory from testing, wasn't so much, so we're going to put 15. Then we're gonna actually make this tidy. We're gonna do sword handler equals script dot parent dot sword handler. Then we're gonna do sword handler or on server event, and we're gonna connect. And this is where our parameter we passed earlier is going to make sense. We're gonna do player, and then we're gonna do extra. Just say that. Now you're gonna be like, why? Why is this extra damage parameter here? This is the true we sent here in the third one. What this extra damage thing is going to do is it's going to add extra damage on top of the damage we already have. Actually set this to 12. So we're going to do, let's say we're going to do attack 1, and that's going to do 12 damage. And then we're going to do attack 2, which is going to do 12 damage again. And then we're going to do our attack 3, which is like this big slash of some sorts. And it's going to add 12 plus 12 divided by 2, which is 6. So it's going to actually total into 18 damage. Then we're going to get that cooldown of, let's say, I think it was 3 seconds or so. So to get started, we need to actually reference the player. So local character of the person who activated this script. So local, it's going to be player.character. So our character is going to be the one who executed this attack function, which is going to be us. And we're going to now put this thing, I'm going to call the hit part. Now this hit part is actually what's going to do the damage. Now let me show you. I'm going to call it local cast because it's, when I was making this, I was interested in raycasts. That's another thing. And we're going to name it, we're going to say it's an instance.new of a part. It's going to be a brand new part. And we're going to set its size to a vector3.new since we need 3 numbers. And we're going to set it to a 5 by 5 by 5 simple cube. We are going to disable collisions because we don't want that to collide. We're going to put the C frame, so it's positioned to where we are right now. So we want it where we are right now, not somewhere halfway across the world. We're going to say cast.parent equals workspace, so we just want it in workspace. We're going to say, and for now, we'll just leave it at that. So now if we go into our local script or start the game here, as you can see that when we click our tool, it spawns a new part. Index, but that's our animations. Don't worry about that. And yeah, you could see that it's played that part. Now the script will break since we put that play. Currently it's nil because we didn't input our animations. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set it, I'm going to put cast.massless equals true. Now I'm going to show you why I put massless later. I want to put cast.transparency equals to 0 for now. We're going to set it invisible later, but for tutorial purposes, we're not. Next, we're going to add a weld. Now, what's this going to do is by I anchored this actually, so if I do cast.anchored equals true, you can see that when I actually summon the part or click and attack, that when I attack, the part actually doesn't move. So if, let's say we're slashing and there's an opponent in front of us, and we want the sword to go like they're over there, just outside of reach. We have to move forward. The part's just gonna stay there. It's not gonna move, and we won't be able to hit our opponent. What this weld is going to do is it's going to allow us to be able to move, and the hit part will move with us. That will make sense. I will show you what I mean. So we're going to do a local weld equals instance, the instance.new weld. It's a weld constraint. And we're going to do weld.part1, or part0 actually, is going to be us. We want the main part, the one that we want uh, the other part to follow or be welded to is us. So primary part, and when we weld the part 1 equals cast. Then we're gonna do weld.co, and co is actually just the offset of the weld, and I'm just gonna set it to a cframe.new as 0, 0, -5. What this is, it's gonna not gonna push it. I think it's x. It's not gonna push it the x coordinate, so left or right of us. It's not gonna push it up or down, but it's gonna push us in front of us. If that makes any sense. It will make sense once I show you. Then we're gonna do weld.parent equals weld.part0. So it's gonna say this weld is just gonna go inside the primary part, which is the humanoid root part. So now if we click play, you can see now that when I click on the tool when it's equipped, the weld part now follows us, which enables us to move forward and be able to hit our enemy while we're still attacking, which is great. That's good. Next, we're going to deal with collisions. So we're going to do local damage dealt equals false. Now this is like another debounce, but I'm going to rename it to make it simpler for you. This damage dealt will tell us if we've hit something, we don't want to hit anything else. A one tick damage, because while I was making this, I was experimenting around, and if you just do a simple, when something touches it, look for its humanoid part and hurt it, it does several waves of damage, because a humanoid is not made of, or a character is not made of one part, made of several parts, like the foot, hand, lower leg, upper, yeah. So we're gonna put the damage dealt so we don't do multiple ticks of damage, and we're gonna put cast.touched. So when our hit part here has been touched by something, we're going to activate this function, and we want to know what hit it. So we're just gonna put hits. Now we're gonna check first if not damage dealt. So if we've not hit something yet, then I want us to check if hit.parent equals character. So if the thing we hit is equal to ourself, which sometimes does happen, and then we don't want to damage, so we're just gonna then return and nothing else. And I'm gonna say if not hit, so when we hit it, does it still exist? So if it's there, so and does it have a parent? So what we're checking here is, let's say we take base plate for example. Uh, let's say we hit base plate. Does base plate exist, and does base plate have a parent? If it doesn't, then return end. And that's for those checks. Next, we're going to check if it's a human we actually hit. So local human equals hit, a parent, find first child, and we're going to say human. Then we're going to check, say, if human, well, if it is a human that we just hit, and it's not dead, so health is not so 0, then uh, health is greater than 0. So if it's more than 0, then we're going to say, we're going to check if we have the extra damage here. So if we want extra damage, so say if extra damage, then human, we're going to use the take damage function. We're actually not going to do human.health minus equals. That you can do, but what the take damage function does is it will still damage the player for the amount of damage you request, but if they have a force field on, it won't damage them. If you don't want that, you can simply do human.health minus equals whatever, or in our case, damage. But since this is extra damage, we're going to say human take damage plus damage divided by 2, which in our case is 12 plus 6. This equals 6. So we're going to give 18 points of damage. I'm just going to put an else here, so if it's not, we're just going to say human take damage, let's say damage. And once we do that, we're going to go to this one just below our where we damage, and we're going to say damage dealt equals true. We've hit them, we've damaged them. That's that. Now if we check, let's actually import a simple rig here. Go there, dummy. And you can see now that when I go in and I click, I'll only be able to click once, since that says it won't do anything, but when I hit him, it damages him. And now if we go again, it doesn't damage him anymore. And that's that. So yeah, once we've done that, we're gonna do wait, let's see, 0.5 seconds, and we're gonna do cast destroy. And that's that. So one final thing, we're going to add some animations. So we're going to go to our local script here, and we're going to click animations. We're going to make 3 of those, and we're going to name them respectively. So you can name them whatever you want to. Just make sure you remember the names. I'm going to keep to the code and say ATK1, ATK2, and ATK3. Now, I've already made animations beforehand, and they're simple animations, and if you would like to use them, feel free to use them. I'll be using my assets, and so I will actually be right back when I grab them. Alright, so I've got my animations here, my /1, /2, and /3. These links will be in the description for you to use, but what you have to do is you have to get this code right here, place them into your animations. Now, if you don't know how to do any animations, I suggest you use mine or learn how to make your own, which is fairly simple. We're just going to place the animation IDs into this animation ID slot respectively. So let's say /3 belongs to attack 3. Okay, that's done. We no longer need that. And now we can go back into our code here. Oops, window. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say, actually, I know, we're going to do humanoid, and we're going to do load animation, and we have to reference the animation, so we're going to do script dot wait for child, and you actually must use wait for child here, because every time you just do dot atk1, it doesn't work because you're going to get nil, because it needs time for the animation to load. So once we've done that, we can just copy this line here, copy that, and copy this, and rename them. And if I did everything right, that should be everything. So if we go here, heal, takes damage or damage. We got that cooldown. Now we can't do anything. We get that cooldown. Now we keep seeing that block, so we no longer need it. And we're just gonna set the transparency to 1. Now I forgot to explain what maskless does. Simply enough, it just makes you not bug out. If you do have maskless not enabled and you do walk around when you click, it does weird movements, as you can see, because it has weight and the physics engine will count for it. So yeah, that's why we're gonna put maskless equals true. Now, if that's all you're looking for, that's all you need. Thanks for watching. If you have problems, go in the comments. But it's kind of boring, so I'm actually going to add a slash effect. So I cut this part out because it took way too long when I'm explaining in a video. It took around 20 minutes. So I'm cutting it down into short things. I put a slash effect in the description below. You can, this one is the exact same one I used in the tutorial video. And, yeah. Also, put the trail in lighting because that's where I put it in the tutorial. And we're actually going to remove this weight statement right there, and we're gonna replace it with this. So let's put comments, make it clean, slash effect, local slash equals game lighting dot slash. And we can just clone that, and we're gonna do slash dot parent equals our hit part, the cast. We're gonna say its position equals our character, primary part, that's C frame. Actually, we can do cast dot C frame, and we're gonna do slash dot orientation, if I can spell that right, equals character dot primary part dot orientation. Now, what orientation is like the direction we're facing or the way our body is facing right now. Oh, one thing I actually forgot is we gotta put a body velocity into our slash here. So you can just add one of those and that's it. What the body velocity allows us to do is it allows us to move it. So we do body velocity dot velocity equals character dot primary part dot C frame dot look vector. So the direction we are looking at times 50, which is our speed. Minor bug I forgot to put, we're actually going to temporarily re-add the wait statement here because when you click in game, it's just not going to appear since it instantly deletes it for you. Now, as you can see, that when we click with our sword enabled, we have a slash effect of some sorts. Quite bugged out right now, but yeah, it's there. So what we're gonna, I put the weight too short. Now, as you can see, when we click, we get our slash effect. Now, if this looks different from the one I did earlier, I did import it from my other test one, since my slash I created was creating problems. I will actually put a model for this one in the description, save you guys some time if you don't really care about it. But yeah, we have a attack, a single slash, but it looks kind of weird right now. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to our script. We're gonna do a quick simple loop. So we're gonna do local x equals 0. I think I should use a for loop, but for now we're just gonna use a while loop. We're gonna do while x is less than 10. We're gonna do slash dot transparency, and I did some math here as 0.1115. So if you times that by I think 10, that should equal, or by I think something 0.5 seconds. Yeah, you're gonna get 115. Now we're gonna do x plus equals 1, so we're gonna add 1 to it, and then we're gonna wait 0.5 seconds, 0.05 seconds. And if we do it now, we should have a nice, clean, simple combat system in our Roblox game. So if we do this, whoosh, fades out as you can see. 1, 2, does the extra damage when we click the third time. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and thank you for 50 subscribers. I never thought I'd make it this far, I mean, since like 2016. And if you enjoyed the video, press like, help others find it with the algorithm. And if you need support, you can hit me up in the comments, or if you have Discord, you can join my brand new Discord server, where you can ask me and other people who are willing to help you out. Anyways, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this sword tutorial video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.